Hey there, Lucas Bond with the Missouri Department of Conservation, and today on Habitat Hints, we're going to talk about the emerald ash borer and how you can identify that on a tree, and if the tree has it, and how you can get rid of it, or what you can do. I'm going to be joined by MDC expert Yvette Amerman, and she's going to tell us all we need to know about this nasty invasive pest. So I'm going to bring her around and let's turn it around. Okay, Yvette, tell us what exactly emerald ash borer is and how people can get rid of it. How do you identify it, and so forth?
So the first step is to make certain that the tree you have is an ash tree. And so you'll want to look at the bark and the branches and the leaves and identify it as an ash tree. Ash trees have opposite branches. They have a compound leaf. And then they have this very distinct crisscross type of bark where you can see crisscrosses in the bark pattern. So then the next thing that would kind of tell you, most people give me a call when their ash tree starts not looking very good. And so if you were to look at the top of this tree, you'll be able to see it has several dead branches. Some of the lower branches still have leaves, but the top is really sparse. And so that's the first thing that causes people maybe to give me a phone call and say something's wrong with my tree. And so a lot of times I'll ask them, do they see any of these, they call it blonding, but these patterns or where the bark has actually come off and you see what's underneath the bark, which is a lighter color. And so they call that blonding. That's actually caused by woodpeckers who are coming to find the insect. They can hear it chewing underneath the bark and they're trying to eat them. So you'll see there's exit holes or holes where woodpeckers have made holes and they're looking for the bug so that they can have a treat. So that's what causes this. Unfortunately, by the time I get most of my phone calls and their trees are kind of starting to not look very nice or they have several dead branches, it normally means that the tree is already infected with emerald ash borer. So the borer is already in here and it's starting to exit out these little holes, and what's causing the blonding is the woodpeckers can hear the insect under there and they start pecking on it and it causes the bark to fall off. So once this has happened, unfortunately, there's really nothing we can do to save this tree. The best thing I can do is help you find someone who can take it down and then help you pick a new species of tree to replace this one. So unfortunately, emerald ash borer is in every county in Missouri, and so it's going to kind of work its way across the state and probably unfortunately kill most of the ash trees initially as it sweeps across the state. And so then we just try to help people find other species of trees that will do well and to plant them to help them pick species, that will do well in their yard or wherever they're trying to replace their ash.
Now, how can you avoid spreading the EAB? I mean, what would you like to tell people, landowners, if they're afraid that they have an ash tree that's not infected, but they want to make sure they don't get it?
So there are some things, if you have an ash tree that looks extremely healthy, there are some chemicals that you can use or herbicide or insecticides that you can use. You would do a soil drench, or there are some injections you can do. And so those would be ways that you could maybe prevent your tree from getting EAB. The thing with that is, you really should have started that process before EAB really came into your county or really got established. And so sometimes I'm not certain if we're too late in the game, or if you had a really nice tree and you wanted to try it, I would say there's nothing wrong with trying, to keep your tree and save it, just knowing that the process that you do in a few years, it may or may not be effective. So we just kind of have to keep an eye on it.
So EAB, we always had that, we always encourage people, don't move firewood. Is that one of the big ways it can be moved and transferred around?
Yes, it can. Unfortunately, now that it's been found in every county, moving your firewood is kind of less of an issue because it's already The bug has already been found in every county. So normally what I tell people is if you want to use the wood after you've cut your tree down, I usually recommend tarping it if you're not going to use it immediately, just so that if any insects emerge, they're going to be underneath a tarp and not flying to the next ash tree nearby. Otherwise, the other recommendation is to chip it with a chipper.
Yeah.
And if you chip it, then it will kill the larvae.
Okay. And so it's all through the county, like you said. So we're looking at just be precautionary and keep an eye out on your tree so you find it quicker than later.
Yes, it's just good to know, that if you have ash trees, you're potentially going to need to cut them down.
Or if you treat it possibly before,
Yes.
it may survive.
Yes, it may. Yep.
All right. Where can people get more information on EAB and how to kind of prevent it or help?
Yeah, so if you go to the Department of Conservation's website and just type in emerald ash borer, there's actually a sheet that would help you look at your ash tree. It's like a dichotomous key almost. It'll help you decide, is it worth trying to keep or is it too far gone? And so it'll help you work through that so you can make the decision.
All right. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much, Yvette. And I'm going to echo what she said. If you want to learn more about emerald ash borer or EAB, same thing, go on our website at mdc.mo.gov and search in EAB and you'll get all the information you will need. And also, if you want to be in contact with a forester, they can provide that information as well. Have a great rest of the day.